Welcome to Linen Suit and Plastic Tie. I'm Gaurav.
I'm Kevin.
And this is a brand new podcast where we talk to expert unconventional storytellers about their unique life stories and how storytelling plays a role in their careers, business, and overall life.
Our goal for this podcast is for us and you, our listeners, to learn from inspiring and surprising storytellers, to become better communicators, better collaborators, and to create great things.
So, Kev, why don't we start off by telling our listeners a little bit about ourselves? So, Kevin, what is your story?
Well, Gaurav, I was born and raised in China from the city of Qingdao. At the age of 18, I moved to Los Angeles to pursue my bachelor's degree at UCLA in linguistics and computer science. I graduated this June, and I am now continuing to pursue my master's degree in business analytics at UCLA Anderson School of Management. Gaurav, what is your story?
Well, Kev, I was born and raised in Toronto, Canada. And at the age of 17, I moved to Los Angeles and got my bachelor's degree in business economics and cognitive science from UCLA. And since then, I've been working in a strategy role at an innovative camera company. You know, storytelling and stories have always been a passion of mine, as a passion of most people. As a kid, I was passionate, excited about comic books. I was a comic book collector. I loved superheroes and villains, and I loved the feel of comic books. I loved the new comic book day. And that, as I got older, that kind of blossomed into an overall passion for mythology and folklore and fairy tales, and those old stories that bound together societies and communities from the beginning of these societies. That passion for pure storytelling and understanding dynamics kind of led me into my kind of interest in how storytelling affects so many different environments and disciplines. And as a career, I've been really fascinated about product storytelling. And that's one of the biggest reasons I want to do this pod, to learn from different storytellers and learn their techniques and see how that can be applied in so many different forms.
You know, I'm a gamer, so I'm very much interested in stories within video games. And I think for video games, storytelling is unique in its interactive aspect. As a player, you get to be a part of the story world, and your options and choices get to decide how the story goes and how the story ends. And as I'm pursuing a degree that explores the intersection of business and data analytics, I am looking forward to talking to expert storytellers in both fields and even more.
Yeah, I mean, we're under the impression that you can learn anything from everybody, and everyone has such a unique story, and learning about how that story has affected people's lives is so fascinating. But one thing, we are definitely not expert storytellers. We also have no experience creating a podcast either. So this story is very much a labor of love. This podcast is going to be a story about how we learn and grow as storytellers, and how we document the changes we're making to become better storytellers ourselves.
Every week, we will make a lot of mistakes, and you will likely hear those mistakes in each of our episodes. But every week, hopefully, we will get better than what we did the previous week. This podcast will also be a record of how we've learned and grown as storytellers. So we will keep you updated, and you can tune in to hear how we're changing.
Yeah, I mean, not only do we want you to get actionable insights and frameworks from our storytellers about how you can use their frameworks in your day-to-day life, we want you to hear about how we're applying them and what we're learning from applying those frameworks to give you a more fruitful educational experience, because we're learning just alongside you.
What power lies in your story? At Linen Suit and Plastic Tie, we are hoping to find all the different answers to this question by talking to people from all walks of life. Please subscribe to us for weekly stories and storytelling insights.
And make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at LSPTpod. I'm Gaurav.
And I'm Kevin.
And welcome to Linen Suit and Plastic Tie.